Hey everyone, it's me Gavin, and welcome back to the channel. Today I wanted to do something I haven't done in quite a bit, and it's just to catch up with you guys and let you know what I've been up to in the meantime. Just kind of doing my own thing, hanging out really for the most part, spending time with family, all that good stuff, but I've been playing a lot of games as well, right? So I've been playing pretty much almost entirely all gacha games recently in my own time and on stream over at twitch.tv/Gavin_Vengeance. If you guys do want to go over and catch me over there. Now, I know I haven't been live in a couple of days, pretty much all week this week, but that's just because I've been enjoying the weather and spending time with family and kind of not really worrying too much about a set schedule or anything, just doing things at my own pace, the way that I think pretty much anybody should do things whenever they're trying to stream or be live or create content or any of that stuff. But again, that's not the point of this video. The point of this video is to tell you guys what I've been up to and what I've been playing, right? So I'm going to kind of organize the order of these games and talk very briefly about them, show a little bit of gameplay and all that stuff for you guys, just in case you're interested in these games or just want to see a little bit more information or hear my own thoughts and opinions on them, right? But the way I'm going to organize them is the most safe for work to the least safe for work, if that makes sense. So I'll try to do things in that order just to keep things a little bit better organized, right? So first and foremost, I guess the most safe for work game that I've been playing, in my opinion, at all of these, has been a game called Sword of Convallaria. Now, Sword of Convallaria is very reminiscent of Final Fantasy Tactics or Ogre Battle, all those old tactical RPGs, Fire Emblem, those kinds of games, right? That's what it reminds me of, but the story I was not expecting to be as good as it is. Now, mind you, I am only just in Chapter 2, but I've played the opening prologue sequence and then all of Chapter 1. I've just been playing around with the game, again, kind of at my own pace, right? Taking it a day at a time and just kind of going through and seeing what it has to offer. It's got a lot of the very same similar systems as pretty much almost every other gacha game out there, where you have your daily quests and you've got your bosses that you can farm for materials or your battles that you can do for materials, and after a certain point you're even able to sweep the levels, so you can use the consumable item in order to complete the mission without even having to go and do the battle itself. There's normal modes and hard modes, and there's a little decoration thing where you can go and decorate your headquarters, your home base. But it's really interesting to see how the story plays out, because I don't really want to spoil anything when I am talking about the story, but I will say that one thing that is really impressing with it is that they went a different route altogether with how the story plays out, doing stuff with in my opinion, an alternate reality or an alternate way of things playing out from the actual main story, which is kind of interesting to see. So it keeps you engaged, right? And I'm gonna say that honestly, the first set of missions, I was entirely sold. As soon as I got into the game, I was like, yeah, I can see myself playing this for quite a bit. Now, I've heard that there's also multiple endings for this game as well, which is kind of cool to see. You don't really typically see endings at all when it comes to gacha games, but it gives you a little bit more motivation to actually go and play through the game and then pick certain choices and then maybe go back and replay stuff and see how things turn out a different way, right? So it's really interesting to see that. There is, of course, a gacha mechanic here in terms of pulling for characters, and there's a lot of really different roles that characters can be automatically assigned. I don't know if there's a job system or anything. I don't think there is. I think the role that your character is set, and that's permanent. As far as I understand, at least, I haven't gotten far enough in the game to actually see if there is a job system, which would be really cool if they did have something like that, but I'm guessing they would probably save that for different iterations of certain characters, so on and so forth. But it's really cool. You've got a lot of different abilities and everything that you can actually utilize in combat to make things a little bit more strategic, I guess, right? You really got to play this like a tactical RPG, the way that it should be. And it actually does, and it gets quite difficult, and I gotta say, it is very good. It's probably one of the biggest surprise games for me that I've played so far this year, so hopefully things do still go good for Sword of Convallaria for the foreseeable future. I've heard that they're celebrating a follower or download milestone or something, I believe, currently in the game, so lots of rewards and everything to get there, which is really cool to see. I love it whenever the developers actually show thanks to the player base, right? So this is something I can definitely say about this. It is a really, really good game, and I would highly recommend it to anybody if you guys are ever interested or on the fence about checking it out. Go ahead and try it out. It's actually a really good game. So sort of convolaria out of the way, let's move on to our next game in the list, and it is going to be well, I guess it was kind of like a toss-up here between these two, but I'll go with Mecha Break. So I've actually been playing Mecha Break, which is from the same makers as Snowbreak. Now, Mecha Break is, again, developed by Amazing Seasun Studio, I believe is what it's called, our Amazing Seasun Games. But anyway, I got the opportunity to actually go and try it out. So it's currently just in like a beta test phase right now where I believe only like co-op is available. I'm not sure if there's actually going to be a single player version of the game or like a mode or anything for the game. It seems very much geared towards like 6v6 combat, which is really cool though. I will say that much. Again, this game, I just wanted to try it out because it looked really nice. I gotta say, it's probably got one of the most in-depth character creation modes that I've seen for any game, let alone a gacha game of all things. But the character creator is incredibly in depth, and I'm sure there's probably going to be a lot more like choices and cosmetics and different like preset faces and accessories and stuff like that you're going to be able to get for your characters when the game does actually release. But I will say that what I've played of it so far, I've really enjoyed. I've actually got my cousin Jordan, who's joined me for a couple of like Nikkei videos as well. He's got the game as well, Mecha Break, and we got to try it out together, which is really cool. The test is still currently ongoing as I'm recording this, but we got to go in and play a couple of matches and try out a couple of the different mechs and everything, and they're very versatile. They all have their own use cases. It definitely does seem like more of a team-oriented game though, right? Like you almost want a couple of friends to play with you, or meet some people online and play with them, form a group, and then go in and do your combat battles, because it makes things a little bit more easy, I guess, right? Whenever you're trying to communicate and like single out a certain person on the opposing team that you want to target first, right? So there's a lot of different things that you can do in this game in terms of like controlling your mech, and it seems very versatile in terms of like controlling them and using different abilities and certain, again, use cases where you really want to prioritize doing like big damage or take an opportunity when you actually have one in order to be able to go over and like heal an ally if you're playing as a certain like mech. But again, there's so much customization in this game, it's crazy, because it's not only just the character, but like also the mech. So you can customize the paint on your mech, and different like parts can be different colors, and there's so many different like paints and everything to unlock. So there's a ton of different like shades, or the customizability is just it's profound, and it's crazy. It's very robust, and I absolutely love it. I will say that there is also a couple of like little gacha-esque things in this game. It doesn't really seem as much of a gacha game as the other ones that I'm going to be talking about, but there's like a battle pass that you can also get. So very reminiscent of like other competitive games that we've seen in the same space, right? But I don't know, again, if there's going to be any sort of like single player mode or like adventure mode, exploration, or anything of that sort. It'd be really cool to see, especially following off the backs of other like mech games like Armored Core 6. But I don't know. I guess only time will have to tell on that part, but I would really hope that they actually introduce a mode and don't keep it as just a competitive PvP game. But I will say there's a couple of different like battlefields and everything to participate in, where there's a couple different objectives that you actually have to take into consideration while you're actually participating in combat. So again, really cool. Visual fidelity of the game is incredible as well. I will say that the first couple of times that I did end up getting into a couple of matches, I did experience like a little bit of like latency and lag and everything, and I think that's the purpose of this test, is just for them to try to iron out like any sort of like server problems or things that they need to or have more stable by the time that the game does release. So again, I think it's really just like ironing out the little kinks with the game, right? So once that's taken care of, I'm sure that the full release of this hopefully won't be too far away, but it looks really cool. I would highly encourage you guys to check out more about it. Moving on to our next game, Zenless Zone Zero. Should be no surprise to anybody, especially if you guys have been following the channel recently. I have been covering Zenless Zone Zero for the better part of, I don't know, almost like 2 years now or something, I think. Since the game was released or announced or revealed, I've been covering it, and then the game released not long ago, and I've been playing it pretty much as I can, and I've been trying to stream it as much as I can over on Twitch as well. But I've been playing a whole lot of Zenless Zone Zero. Things are kind of winding down now with the initial release, and I think now everybody's just kind of like anxious and ramping up for 1.1, which should be releasing just around the corner, I believe probably next week from recording this. Very much interested in checking that out, because they're going to be showing off a brand new character that's going to be releasing as well, called Xingyi, or Jingyi. I pronounced the names horribly. My apologies, but I did just release a character demo trailer reaction for Jingyi, and you guys can go and check that here on the channel as well if you haven't already. Highly encourage you to do so, because it helps out very much. But she looks really cool. I gotta say that I really love the story bits with her as well. I am still trying to work my way towards Chapter 3. I am fairly certain I've got to be at the end of Chapter 2 interlude by now, but I've been like holding off a little bit, just because I'm saving all that content for the stream, right? I've been doing a lot of the side missions and everything in my own time. Like I just recently did like a rank up mission or whatever to get myself up to character level 50, I believe. So all my characters can be level up to 50. So I've just been like farming resources and everything. I've been going and doing my weekly stuff in terms of like Hollow Zero, and just doing a lot of the more, I don't know, kind of casual stuff, I guess, in the in my own time, so that way I don't spoil any of the story moments for anybody that is watching over on Twitch. So I've been saving all that. I've been saving the agent story as well. I've got one readied up right now for Grace, and I haven't gotten into that yet, but I do plan on doing that sometime soon, which hopefully should be, like, I don't know, tomorrow or the next day or something. Maybe I'll get an opportunity to play. It's just the kids have been, like, very rambunctious recently, and I don't want to have, like, a stream where I'm just like, kids, quiet down, I'm trying to stream. Because they're like yelling or crashing into the walls or spilling their toys all over the place. You guys know how kids are. But it's just one of those scenarios where I'm kind of like, it's probably a better opportunity to go live other than right now. But I will get back to Zenless Zone Zero, the streams. I think we're on like day 15 or something anyways. But stay tuned for that one. And again, if you guys are interested in checking that out, then head over to the Twitch channel and follow me over there. Moving onward to our next game in the veering a little bit more into the lewd territory, I guess, right? I think they're pretty much all going to be that way from here on out. So we'll just go on with Nikke. So Nikke is a game that I've been playing since launch as well, and I've still been playing it every single day. And I didn't pull on the last two banners that were available, which is it's something that I think a lot of people have been kind of doing, right? Because we're all like anxious checking out the collaboration information and trying to figure out what the next collab was going to be. And I think everybody's kind of saving up for like limited characters. So Ein and Zwei are a really great duo of characters, but I didn't pull on them because I'm like, they're going to get added into the standard pool anyway, so I've just been saving up like all my standard recruit vouchers and just waiting for them to actually get introduced to that pool, which should be coming up soon, I'm guessing, because we've got Zwei for a little bit longer, I believe maybe like another week or two, I think, as of recording, and after that we should be getting into the collaboration, which I think there's going to be more information on that. I believe August 11th was like the tease date, I believe, but we already pretty much all know what it is anyways. Nikke is doing a collaboration as far as I am aware, and as far as the images show in Twitter, my guess, I'll say that, well, I'll preface it and I'll say that, my guess, my very educated, almost 1000% guaranteed guess, is Evangelion, because there was also like a leaked screenshot from one of the other Nikke accounts on Twitter that kind of showed off that they're doing a collaboration with Evangelion. So Neon Genesis Evangelion was actually an anime that I just recently watched for the very first time. I've never checked it out. I was very curious to see why it was so highly regarded as like so many people's one of their favorite animes of all times, or one of the animes that got them into anime. And I watched it, and I'll be honest with you guys, it was good, but it got a little bit confusing towards the end. And I didn't watch any of the movies or anything, and I know that a lot of people that are like very, very passionate about Eva that are gonna roast me down in the comments below, but I didn't watch any of the movies. I just watched the main anime series. I watched it to the end. I paid attention to every single episode. I made sure I wasn't like sidetracked by anything else that I was doing, which kind of happened with me in One Piece. But anyways, I digress. I did enjoy it. It was very much a product of the time, I'll say that much. But I'm very, very curious to see how they're going to actually design the characters for Nikke with the collaboration coming up. I know that there's a lot of people that are kind of, not too happy with the decision to partner up with Evangelion. I don't mind it. I mean, I think they pretty much do collab with almost every gacha game that I've ever seen. So it's really not a surprise, just kind of like ReZero was, right? I was definitely in the whole crowd of like really wanting them to do a different collaboration with like High School DxD would be amazing if they wanted to keep the high school theme or something, right? But there's a lot of other things that they could have easily done a collaboration with that would have been fantastic as well. But I think High School DxD really fits the bill, right, when it comes to Nikke, in my opinion. Probably not so much the atmosphere, but I mean the aesthetic, definitely. Definitely. But anyways, I will say this much: I am very much in the crowd of, I'll check it out, I'll give it a chance. I hope that the story is good for the collaboration, and I hope it doesn't really follow into the typical stuff like what happened with Chainsaw Man, where it was kind of like, oh, we're randomly in this world now, we gotta find a way back. And that was the extent of the story, essentially, right? So hopefully it's a little more intricate than that. It seems like it's going to be. I mean, they were showing off like Ramiel and everything, which was one of the threats in Evangelion and in the screenshot and everything. So again, very much looking forward to checking it out. I want to see how the characters are designed. I want to see if there's going to be like any additional outfits and anything introduced for them, like maybe another gacha outfit or whatever. Speaking of gacha outfits, I also got the gacha outfit for Marciana, which I'm sure you guys have seen here in the footage. But it is a fantastic outfit, is all I'm saying, and it was going in the right direction. So hopefully Evangelion kind of like keeps it tasteful, you know what I mean? Hopefully it's not too out there, but at the same time, I'd be interested to see how it fits in with Nikke, and where they plan on going from here, because I mean, again, there's a lot of different properties that they can collab with, and there's other characters that I know that are going to be coming out in the future that I'm incredibly excited for. Lots of characters introduced in the recent chapters, and lots of stuff to look forward to with Goddess of Victory Nikke. So again, highly encourage you guys to go over and check that out if you haven't already, or if you've been taking a break from the game, or if you're just waiting on the collaboration. Let me know down in the comments below. Let me know if Evangelion is going to be something that you're excited for. Moving on to our next game that I've been playing pretty much on a day-to-day basis. Geez, which one do I pick, man? Because I know I just said this is probably a toss-up between the two. Nah, it's got to be. Okay, so we'll go with Snowbreak, which I know a lot of you guys may say is very, very out there, and it's kind of veering into that direction. You're not wrong. I've been playing Snowbreak pretty much every single day, trying to keep up with it, getting my account caught up. I finally finished all of like the story content and everything. I just recently did a whole bunch of stuff for the currently ongoing event. We got the 2 new characters introduced, which were a different iteration of Life and a different iteration of Fenny. Both of them are incredibly good characters. I've just been logging in and playing through pretty much all of my like daily quests, and I've been doing like some weekly stuff and doing some co-op online, and just going and doing stuff in the dormitory, and just not spending a whole lot of time in the healing center at all. I would never. It's actually like, it's been really fun. I've been really enjoying the game, and I'm glad that I actually gave it another chance, and I decided to go back with Snowbreak because, again, it seems like they're really like trying hard for this game, and it goes to show the sales are there. They've been doing fantastic ever since they started going in this different direction. My next step and my next hope for Snowbreak is that hopefully we end up getting some like return of the English voice cast. I know there's a whole lot of like stuff going on right now with the Chinese voice cast and Snowbreak and everything, and hopefully all of that gets sorted, and you know, everybody is happy in the end of things, right? That's what I want to say. So hopefully, again, we get that English voice cast back. That'd be nice. I would really love to see some more English VA for this game. And then also, please, if you guys are listening to that amazing CSUN, please help me, because I have auto hide taskbar turned on for this game, and I keep clicking outside of the window, and I can't play the game at full screen if I want to stream it. So if you guys want me to stream this game, then you guys need to fix that issue, please. I'm so sick of accidentally pausing the game when I'm trying to shoot something. But I'm very, very much going to be playing Snowbreak for the foreseeable future, and I'm looking forward to more content. I know that we probably have an update coming out very, very soon for this as well. Always something to look forward to with this game. But moving on to the next game that I am playing pretty much every single day, Brown Dust 2. Big shocker, I'm sure nobody's surprised, right? Brown Dust 2, incredible game. I can't say enough about this game. I kind of want to cover it a lot more on the channel, but I kind of tested the waters there with a reaction video, I believe, for a trailer with you guys, and it didn't really seem to be very well received, or at least it didn't get a whole lot of views, and maybe that's just a product of like YouTube and what it recommends and so on and so forth. But I have been absolutely loving the game, and honestly, with all the brand new characters that get introduced, I'm like more and more motivated to keep playing it. The art is on a whole other level. It is incredibly lewd. But at the same time, they introduce so many cool looking characters, and there's so many awesome outfits, and there's a whole bunch of new outfits coming out for the game because they're currently doing like their summer event, right? So we've got like I believe is it 3 or 4? I feel like it's 4 brand new outfits or characters coming out for the game's costumes, as they call them in the game, right? So there was one coming out for, I believe, Therese. I'm doing this all off the top of my head, by the way, guys. I'm not looking up anything. There's one coming out for Therese. They're releasing a new character, which is going to be, I can't remember her name. She's another one of the holy characters. Not Angelica, but her friend starts with an M. I think it is. I can't remember. But anyways, you're going to have to excuse me on that one. But there's another character coming out, Maurice or something. I don't know. Anyway, don't quote me on that one. But she's coming out next. She looks really good. They've got a new costume coming out for Eclipse, which is just... It is all out there. It's crazy, but it is a sight to behold. I highly encourage you guys to check out that trailer. And then I think they were doing another outfit as well for a different character, and I can't seem to remember or recall. Wait, no, sorry, it's Morphia. Right, so Morphia is getting released into the game. She's actually one of the villainous type characters that you get introduced to in the story. I hope that's not spoiling anything for anybody, but Morphia is coming out and she looks awesome, and as soon as I saw her, I was like, I want that character in my roster, so I'm glad that we're actually getting like villains, access to them to have in our party, because that's awesome. And hopefully, I know, yes, it's currently the summer event and we've got bikini characters, but I really hope that we actually get like her base version at some point as well, because it looks really cool and I love the art for the sprite, so I really want to see like a full-blown art for Morphia in the game. It looks absolutely awesome. But anyways, I have not played Brave 9, so I don't know all the characters' names, and I apologize because I'm just really like, it's bothering me that I don't know it, but I'll probably add the subtitle in for the character that I can't remember her name. But anyways, they all look awesome. I'm really excited for more Brown Dust 2, and I really want to see what the new event has in store for us, and I'm looking forward to like hopefully more new story chapters in the future and everything. But there's a whole slew of content in the game, especially if you haven't checked it out yet. Brown Dust 2, highly recommended. Man, highly recommend that game. It is so good. It's also a grid-based, turn-based RPG, if that makes sense. Like a grid turn-based RPG, if that makes sense. Again, you guys will see footage. It's on the channel. It's on the page right now. It's on the video, right? You guys are seeing it. Don't worry about it. That's what the content in this game is like. It is fantastic. It makes you think. It makes you play around with different character combinations, different party makeups, and I love that stuff. Very much on my to stay playing games list for the foreseeable future. And then last but not least, the brand new game that I'm testing currently. I don't know if it's access or if access is out there for everybody, but I've got access to it. I just told them to notify me if I was able to get access to it, and I was finally able to get access to it. I just recently uploaded a widescreen video for it. It is Nornium. So Nornium is a game that I found out through another YouTuber, Styx, and he brought up the game, and I looked at it and I was like, holy, that is lewd. That is like borderline like a H game. And I was like, but it's not. It's not, and I can confirm that it's not. It's got a lot of like very fine lines drawn in the sand there, but I mean it's not. It is very lewd, and there's a reason that is the last game that I'm talking about. It's because I want to let you guys know if you're interested in that kind of thing, if you're looking forward to that kind of thing, this is probably a game you want to keep on your radar. I will say it's a little rough right now, but that's just because the game is literally just in early access, and I'm sure that the developers are going to be working on it. They're going to be tweaking it. They're going to be making some changes. One thing I did notice in playing it, though, I didn't really notice any like soundtrack, like any background music that was like standing out to me, that like hit me the same way that like other games have so far. So hopefully that's something that's going to be like touched upon or like implemented at some point in the game's development, because it is still, in my opinion, still in development, right? I did get to try out the game, and I'm still currently playing it. I'm still testing it. I want to see what the game has to offer, right? So big notes that I want to talk about with it. The Story seems alright so far. It's not like the most engaging story. Now, mind you, I am literally just trying to like translate a couple of lines that I've seen from Chinese into English, so maybe the story's going to be told a lot better if they do eventually translate the entirety of the game in English. There's not really a whole lot that I can get out of the story aspect as somebody that does not speak Chinese or understand it, but at the same time, I did try translating a couple of like screenshots and stuff like that there with like Google, and I am trying to follow it a little bit. Now, a lot of like side story content and everything, I am just skipping through. Like, I am definitely guilty of doing that, but I just wanted to go in and try out the game and see what the systems are like, right? So again, very reminiscent of other gacha games. Got like character pages that you can go in, level up your character. You can spend items, increase their XP. Same difference when it comes to like weapons. You can upgrade your weapons, and then you can change them out for higher rarity weapons. The character trait system, they increase the effectiveness of your abilities, and if you pull like additional copies of your character, you can use them to further upgrade. You can, all the typical gacha stuff that you see. One thing I will say in terms of the gacha aspect of this game, though, is very interesting. You actually have to, like, teleport to a subway station in order to summon your characters, which I don't think I've ever seen in any gacha game ever. But it's very unique. So you bring up the banners, you select your banner, and I'll have footage of this as well. I know that I am kind of rambling a little bit, but you bring up your character banner, you choose your banner, you hit the button to summon, and then a subway train just comes steaming down the tracks, and then it's got like a different flash of color based upon whether or not you're getting like something that's super rare or not. And then like all the doors light up with different colors, and then you can go over and you can individually click on the door, and then when it opens up, it tells you what you got in your pull. Or if you're doing a single pull, it's only one door lit up at the very front of the train. If you're doing, again, multiple pulls, there'll be like red for something that is very rare, I think like a 6-star or something, and then occasionally, if you're incredibly lucky, I've seen it happen once, there's a like white flash. It's kind of like a very bright like platinum looking color, and that is like the rarest of the rare from what I understand anyways in terms of doing pulls. But it's pretty interesting to see that you're hanging out in the subway station in order to pull for characters in a game that's like futuristic with like space battles and stuff. It's a different, unique choice, I'll say that much. But in terms of the battles, doing the space combat and everything, it seems a little bit less intuitive than I was hoping for. The combat is pretty straightforward. You literally just pretty much put the enemies within your field of view, and you mash your button and you do attacks, but there were a couple of like intricacies that I've tested out with different characters, because fortunately you can actually go in and like trial certain characters before you actually try to prioritize getting them, I guess. And they all have like different movesets, so they are very unique and they play different in combat, but some characters have like charge attacks, other characters have like more like timing based attacks where you have to hit the button at a certain time in order to continue like your combo chain. There are other characters that have like different range attacks, so like say if your character's close range and you hit their ability button, it'll do a different attack, but if you're mid range or far, then it'll do like a different ability even though you're hitting the same button. There's like dodge mechanics in order to get into the way of the certain like oncoming attacks. Some characters have like shields that they can use in battle. You can swap between the characters in real time, again very similar to other gacha games, but it's very nice to see that the combat can be very intuitive, I guess, right? If they go that route with it, if they try, because what I've experienced so far, and again now mind you, I am only I think like 6 hours into the game, so I've still got a lot to uncover with it, but from what I've experienced so far, there hasn't been anything like overly difficult. One other thing I should probably also mention is that there are ultimate abilities as well that the characters can use after they build up enough energy, and they are incredible. So they are animated very well. There's a lot of jiggle going on in this game. There's a lot of lewds, but there's also like this like town aspect to it as well. You can go around and like visit shops and buy different like materials and stuff like that for your characters. A lot of different NPCs and everything to talk to. The space travel, however, because there's sometimes like little like space travel segments where sometimes you're just like picking point to point on like a map, and whenever you visit that like next point on the map, you'll be introduced with like a scene or a battle sequence. That's a little bit interesting. It's not really like diverse so far, but maybe it gets a little bit more intricate as time progresses. I'll keep that opinion reserved for whenever I actually get to that point in the game, but currently, right now, that's only like a singular path that you're allowed to take on a lot of these maps, and there's different choices, like dialogue options that you can select, but some of them are grayed out and locked, and this ties into the storyline for Nornium. So from what I've experienced so far, you are forced to like make certain choices in the game, and then eventually you'll get to a point where it tells you you got the bad end, so the bad ending, and then you actually have to go back through like the storyline and pick different choices if you guys want to like unlock different choices in order to get like a better ending, I guess, for certain chapters. So there's replayability, I guess, that they're introducing with the system. It's very interesting to see, but I don't really fussy whenever like visual novels and stuff like that do this to you, where they lock you out of a choice and you don't have an opportunity to pick until you mess up, and then it's like, you messed up. Now we're going to give you the choice to go back and fix your mess up. It's like, but I didn't have a choice. I didn't have a choice to mess up or to do right? So, I'm not a huge fan of that, but it is a part of the system. It's interesting to see implemented into a gacha game, I'll say that much. But it's got a lot of promise. That's the big thing I'll say about Nornium so far. It's got a lot of promise, and then there's also an interactive thing that you've probably seen if I'm still rambling by now, or maybe it's only up on the screen now, but there is an interactive aspect to the game where you can go to like your own kind of like resort area, I guess, right? And you can get different furniture pieces that you can get from the gacha system or from the store that you could purchase, and each of these furniture pieces usually has like a character portrait tied to it. So whenever you place that furniture in your resort, if you go over and interact with it, you get to have like an interactive scene with whichever character was in that character portrait, and there's a little touchy-feelies that can go on here, and you can take the character's legs and move them around if you want, or like lift them up or spread them or whatever else. And again, I'm telling you, it's borderline a H game, but it's not. But it's not, at least not so far. Not that I've seen, at least. But it is on the fence. And there's other things that you can do, like interact with them. Sometimes you just want to give them a milkshake, or, sometimes you just want to talk to them while they're showering outside before they get in the pool. But there's stuff you can do here. This is probably the most interactive game that I've seen in the gacha space so far. I know that a lot of other gacha games are veering in this direction. You got stuff like Snowbreak and Tower of Fantasy also going that route now as well. But it is definitely by far the most lewd gacha game that I've played to date. And I have played quite a few gacha games, okay, so trust me, I've been there. I've played a lot of them. You can think of them, I've probably played them. But it's just something that I was interested in checking out. It looked cool. Again, shout out to Sticks for letting me know about this game. That's really cool. Will I look forward to playing it when it releases? I don't know. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how things progress. We'll see how the remainder of this playtest sits with me. I guess I can follow up on it if you guys want me to. Just let me know down in the comments below. But I've been rambling now for over like a half hour, so hopefully if you guys are still here, you guys enjoyed the video, and this is a little bit of enlightenment in terms of which gacha games I've been up to and playing and experiencing and testing. So hopefully it makes them better for you guys when it releases. I'm going to give feedback where I can, okay? And that's my feedback so far. There was really one thing that I should point out about Nornium, though, just in case anybody on the development team is watching. There's a really weird bug in the game right now where, like, if you go and you do one of the travel segments where you're just literally, like, driving your spaceship to the next point, sometimes you pick up an ore, and that's it. There's nothing else in the map. It's very barren, which is not really the greatest thing in my opinion. You should have some sort of like interactable objects or like stuff that you can collide with, like asteroids or something, an asteroid field or something, right? But anyways, that's besides the point. What I'm trying to say is sometimes you drive the spaceship, you get to the point, and then as soon as that segment ends and you think that you're done, it makes you replay the same segment a second time, and then all of a sudden it's done, which is weird. But hopefully that gets sorted, and I'm sure it will. This is a reason for playtest. This is why I'm testing things. But that's me letting you know in case you're on the development team and you understand my rambly English and you stayed for 30 minutes through my video talking about other games. Anyways, that's my input. These are the games I'm playing. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know what you guys are playing down in the comments below. Let me know if you guys are still playing stuff like Genshin or like PGR or Arc Knights and Blue Archive and all those awesome games. I've tried them out. I've tried out a lot of them. And I'm really hoping that a lot of them succeed, especially if you guys are interested in them. But I want to try out more gacha games, and I've got a lot on my plate right now, right? I'm playing currently 7 gacha games. I was recently playing 8, but I kind of got to dial it back a little bit again, right? It's cumbersome. It is hard to keep up with all of these games, especially when I'm playtesting stuff. But we are playtesting 2 of them, and then those tests will probably end, and then I can get back to playing something else, or maybe I can start playing some single-player games or whatever. But please give the video a thumbs up if you guys did enjoy this sort of video. If you guys want to touch base with me from time to time, I'll let you know about games and what's on the radar and what I'm enjoying, so hopefully you guys can enjoy them as well. And if you guys want, like, you know, my input on what I think is good and what I think works and what I think doesn't work, then you find it right here. But again, if you guys are new to the channel and you've sat through 35 minutes of this, then thank you very much. I appreciate you, and hopefully you click that subscribe button. I do it for you guys. Anyways, that's going to do it for me. That's going to end my rambling. I'll see you all for the next one. Take care. Peace.